One day I spoke with a man who said, quote, "My wife and I are bewildered. We do not know what to do about our son, Sean. He's 12 years old, and he's been completely addicted to porn for more than 4 years now. So from age 8. He doesn't do his schoolwork, so it's really adversely affecting him." I keep interjecting what Dad's saying. "He doesn't listen to us. He lies to us all the time. He steals from us. He's completely lost our trust in him." End quote. So I'm going to address all of you who are listening. Parents simply are not prepared for problems like this. They're overwhelming. An 8-year-old child who's already a porn addict and now at age 12 has been one for 4 years. The solution, it turns out, is not complicated, but it requires parents who feel loved themselves, who have been taught how to parent, and who are capable of being consistent in loving and teaching their child. Those are big requirements. You can't start off by addressing the porn addiction. In the beginning, it's a parent problem. The father continues, "My wife and I watched the introduction to the parenting training and then chapter 0, the one about whining and loving and teaching. We've never heard anything like this before. Not ever. Not after reading books and articles, not after taking him to therapy. You are completely right. The problem really is that I wasn't loved by my parents," he says. "My childhood was filled with anger and controlling. My wife wasn't loved either. So neither of us knew how to love Sean. We saw problems in his behavior early on, but we didn't know what to do. And now his life is completely out of control, and we feel helpless. We take him to therapy, but it's making no difference." Now, again, me speaking to all of you. Therapy simply does not work for kids like this. Why? Because the therapist has no idea what PCSD, post-childhood stress disorder, even is. They don't know what real love is. They were never unconditionally loved themselves. So there is zero possibility that they could explain to the parents how to truly love the children. Nor could they, the therapists, possibly love the child. It's a lose, lose, lose situation. The child's pretty much doomed. Some of these kids even get put on medications, which of course then make everything more complicated and worse. Now, I'm going to address the father. I'm not telling you what to do here. The solution is simple, but it requires considerable work on your part first. I do want to ask a question or two. Have you simply removed all electronic devices from him? I'm just trying to learn where you are. Have you removed everything? Phone, computers, zero connection to anything electric, pretty much, maybe except for a toothbrush. And the father sounded deeply discouraged when he responded. He said, "We tried that a couple of times, but he went crazy, breaking things, screaming. We had to make it stop. There was nothing we could do but give him his computer and his phone back." Now, I'm back to addressing all of you who are watching. And this is where parents fail. They know something needs to be done, but 1, they don't feel loved enough themselves to be confident in loving and teaching their child. 2, they give up the instant the child resists what absolutely needs to be done. They put their child's temporary, superficial, and pathetic comfort ahead of saving their child's life. Not an exaggeration. Their unwillingness to tolerate some discomfort now guarantees their child's continued pain, much worse pain, and being crippled, usually for the rest of his life. We cannot avoid our responsibilities as parents without destroying our children. And I said some version of all this to the father. Parents, we've got to pay attention. Severe pain and disability for a lifetime begin with such small things. And if we don't know what to do, the pain underlying those supposedly small things will grow. And the weeds spread like a fire. And the garden is choked out to the point where even trying to pull the weeds becomes nearly impossible. And if we try, we pull up the good plants too. It becomes a real mess. Every big fire begins with something small, a spark, a match. Every cancer begins with a single neoplastic cell. Every death from a viral infection begins with just a handful of indescribably small particles that begin to multiply and then kill everything around them. You are all watching this video right now because you're willing at least to begin. Don't quit. Do not hesitate to tell other parents that there is a solution. It's not hopeless. Learning to be a parent requires great diligence, but you can do it. The alternative is some variation on the nightmare being lived by this 12-year-old boy, Sean, and his parents. You don't have to live that nightmare.